I'm seeking for better leadership, accountable leadership, more human rights, more freedoms, but most importantly, an end to corruption so that we can use our resources for the betterment of our lives and the lives of our people.
What is it like being in opposition in Uganda?
Tough, I would say, and gets tougher by the years. Being in the opposition in Uganda means being labeled a terrorist. You see, Uganda happens to be a country ruled by General Museveni, who has ruled it for almost 40 years, and challenging his authority in Uganda is challenging the national military, the Uganda People's Defense Force. Being against Museveni is being against every institution of state, because he has captured all state institutions.
So many things have changed in your country in terms of how long a president can stay, in terms of term limits. Age limit have been scrapped. Are you running again for president in the next year's election?
These are two questions in one. So many things have been changed in our constitution, but all these have not been changed for the betterment or better governance of Uganda, but for the sustenance of the Museveni regime. In 2005, he changed the constitution to remove term limits. He keeps changing the constitution to his convenience. And that's why we insist on saying that we must move beyond individuals. Do I intend to run against him? Definitely. I've said this time and again that I've offered myself to my team. You know, if my team still believes that I can lead them to challenge General Museveni again, I'm available.
You have been a name, a presence in the political landscape of Uganda for a while now. How relevant do you think you still are to the Ugandan youth?
Like I said, it is not just me. The question should be, how relevant are the ideas that I represent to the Ugandan youth? And they are very relevant, because I speak about the reality. I'm presenting in black and white the option to the situation that we are living under right now. I don't present myself as the most knowledgeable or the most qualified, but as the most committed to this reality that we see, the reality that the corruption has sunk our country and has stalled our development.
As returned by His Excellency the President, be ready.
You've been through so much, of some of which you've mentioned, the arrests, the beatings, being shot at, tear gassed. At what point do you sit down and think, this is too much, maybe time to bow out? Or does that never cross your mind?
I am no Superman. I'm a human being who feels pain, who gets scared, who gets anxious, who gets worried. I am no Superman. You're asking at what time do I say enough is enough? At all times. Every time I'm under attack. Every time another brother is abducted, another person is killed. Every time I visit my friends in prison, I'm like, enough is enough. But again, there's no alternative to this. This is a one-way mission. Either getting our freedom or we die trying. I call upon the international community to be involved in this. How? The role of the international community is to give attention to what's happening in Uganda. I know that so much is happening in the world, but let us also get some attention, because Africa, especially sub-Saharan Africa, plays a big role. There's been a lot of investment in sub-Saharan Africa. The US alone last year sent 12 billion US dollars in sub-Saharan Africa. Uganda took more than $500 million of that in health, education, and others. We appreciate that. But that aid should be coming with preconditioned Yes, while we seek the US aid to be reinstalled, we have EU aid and aid from other developing partners. We want preconditions on that aid, because if there are no preconditions of democracy, respect for human rights and the rule of law, then that money is only sponsoring the oppression of the people of Uganda.
At what point do we move away from aid and expecting USAID, expecting the EU, expecting everybody else coming to our aid?
We can only say enough to the aid if we have an alternative. And in my view, the alternative is first and foremost to end corruption.
You mentioned that you get afraid, you're scared, you get anxious with what happens around you in your life. You are a father, you're a family man. What kind of conversations do you have with your children, because they are young?
Initially, my wife and I had decided to keep our children out of this and to keep them ignorant, but you can only do that for so long. Our eldest son is 19, our youngest daughter is 9. Children of this generation know everything, so we decided to be honest with our children. They know exactly everything that's coming back, that is happening. I mean, they've been lucky enough to travel with me out of the country a couple of times, and they've seen better governed country. So they understand what we're fighting for. We take lessons from struggles for freedom, struggles against slavery, struggles against apartheid, struggles against colonialism, and the like. These are not struggles for one generation.
President Museveni came to power aged 42, a year younger than you are now. And you've often been compared to him in the sense of what he was at the time. Words like energetic, charismatic, and inspiring, with a vision. Is there a danger that you yourself could end up being looked at the same way as you are looking at President Museveni of 2025?
Yes. Yes, it worries me, because clearly Museveni was an amazing person. It worries myself. I was named after Robert Mugabe, who was a great revolutionary of the time. Our leader of opposition was named after Museveni because he was a great revolutionary. These guys meant good, or at least it looked like that. But we also know that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. We must constantly remind ourselves. But we know that we as individuals are prone to human weakness. Therefore, first, we want to build a team of like-minded people that can hold each other accountable. But most importantly, once we get there, we want to build strong institutions that can outlive human weakness and human greed. So we want to empower a nation, for that nation to be able to hold leaders accountable, so that at the end of it all, we have leaders that are actually servants to the people, that actually fear to offend people, to mess up things. But as of today, the people fear the leaders. As of today, people are accountable to the leaders. It's supposed to be the other way around.
What is your message to the current Ugandan leadership then?
To General Museveni?
General Museveni, the institutions that you say are corrupt, everything, the apparatus around?
Well, I'll ask him to read his own book, Sowing the Mustard Seed, to read his own book, What is Africa's Problem, where he says the problem with Africa in general and Uganda in particular are the leaders that overstay in power. And just to remind them that as Africans, we are taught that a man is as good as his word. Respect your word. Keep your word. That is the only way we're going to respect you